Well, hello, everyone. This is John Brenner with Poets and Quants. Welcome to another alumni interview. We have a terrific candidate who only recently graduated from Pepperdine University with her MBA, Jessica Hord. Welcome, Jessica.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So tell us why Pepperdine and tell us why you went back to get your MBA to first place.
Well, I noticed when I was growing my career that I kept missing promotions, and the people that around me that were getting the promotions often had extended education, either graduate degrees or MBA degrees. And so I actually casually mentioned to a friend, hey, I think I should do that. And she challenged me and said, okay, well, now or never. And so that week I started investigating different programs. I looked at a lot of local ones and I looked at ones online, and really found that Pepperdine met my needs. I was working full time. I am the mother of two young daughters, and my family is very important to me, but my career also is important. And I knew that I would get that closer one-on-one interaction versus the online, just straight online programs that were remote, or the programs that didn't provide the flexibility in Southern California. So Pepperdine had the flexibility. It had the network that I wanted, the resources that I wanted, and it was a really respected program. Everyone that I talked to was very happy that they had gone through it.
Yeah, and you did it as a mom with two kids. How was that?
Yes.
Because I think a lot of women who already have families and children would be almost afraid to take it on.
It definitely takes the commitment of your family. It's not a decision that I took like, oh, watch, you're going to get one of, oh my gosh. Do you want to see a sample really quick, from
Sure,
the panel?
we'd love
this
to.
Is what happens when we're busy, right?
Hi, how are you today? You look like you're having a lot of fun.
Someone got into makeup. All right, go. So there you go. It's real. She's there. It was a commitment from my whole family, from my mother-in-law and my mom, my husband, because it took sacrifice from everybody. But what it did was it showed the family what we could do when we were committed to something. It was painful in the sense of there were some things that I couldn't be there for because I had class or because I had an assignment due. But they knew that we were doing it for the right reasons. And the 2 years went by so fast. And, my daughters, I can now, show them how important education is versus just telling them.
Yep, exactly. So you chose to go part-time. That's almost a harder road because, you're working, you're balancing everything instead of at least taking 2 years off from work. What was it like? I mean, how hard was that?
It was sacrifice. It was weekends were 5 a.m. at Starbucks, and I would try and cram on the weekends. My work was also very demanding. I worked with a lot of international. At the time, I was at Amgen, and long hours there, 10-hour days there. And I feel like managing my time during the MBA program with family and work was a part of the learning experience. I felt that you had to prioritize, and, there's a term some people might be familiar with called minimal viable product, your MVP. And what you learned is you didn't need to spend 8 hours doing a task that maybe took 2 hours. And so I learned how to prioritize. And I feel like having those skills and really honing those time management skills was a part of the program that I left. Now, people say, oh, what's it like to be a working mom? This is easy. It's easy now compared to being a working mom going to school. Looking back, I feel that was a huge success that came out of the program that I didn't anticipate.
What did you like most about the program?
Oh, the people. Hands down, the people. I was thinking about it, and I look back and there were some classes that I loved, some projects that I loved, but when I smile, it's because of the relationships that I built with my cohort, with some professors. I built a relationship with one of the professors that wasn't even mine, but somebody said he was great and I should reach out, and he's been a mentor to me since then, has helped me with my career decisions, excuse me. They tell you in the beginning of the program, and if anybody on the call or is talking to one of the recruiters, they're probably hearing it, that, you build relationships that last for a lifetime. And, the first semester I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, it's fine. I already had my friends, so I don't need them. And it's not true. I adore many of the people. I think we had a great class. I've been to 2 of their weddings. I spoke at one of the women's weddings. You really do build friendships based on, it's not just good time, it's the hard work and it's the learning and the growth, and, you're all in it together.
Now, you're a poet, at least what we call a poet, because you have a political science and communications background. That's your undergraduate degree from San Diego State. So what was it like to take those quant courses?
So you take quant your first semester or trimester. And I remember sitting in it, and granted, you end up pairing up with people that are your strengths. I had one buddy that I had my soft skills developed. He had his quant skills developed. But I remember sitting in one of the classes, and we learned Excel Solver and did a couple equations. And I swear, I'm not joking, my head hit the table, and I said, "You've got to be kidding me." Because I had a project in previous years, with work, that took me like it was a 3-month project trying to understand, and we did it in like 2 hours. And I remember saying, oh my gosh, had I known this at that time, it would have saved me months of work and frustration. So, I'm very grateful to have taken quant. And the other thing is, you can, from being communication and political science major, I had, over a decade of this message in my head saying that I'm not good at math. Yeah. And I've shied away from finance, shied away from math. And I'm actually fine. Like, I did great in quant. I graduated with honors. I got an A. And I learned that it wasn't as scary. And I don't know if that was a combination between school and maturity, but getting confidence in more of those structured classes was a huge win.
Did you have a favorite course?
Oh, strategy.
Really? What was it about strategy that kind of made it really resonate with you?
It pulled together all the different classes. It's your last trimester, and it pulls together all the classes that you've taken so far. So you need to remember those quant skills. You have to go back into accounting, into finance, and even leadership and employee motivation. And it pulls everything together so that I think you kind of have that moment of like, oh, wow, we really have learned a lot. I wouldn't have been able to pull a project like this together, 2 years previous.
Yeah. And now, were the courses on the main campus or a satellite campus?
So satellite campus, I took most of my courses. I started at the Westlake, and then we moved to the Calabasas. It's a brand new facility. It's beautiful. And then I also took a few courses at Encino.
Because I know their campus is one of the most beautiful campuses that there ever could be, overlooking the Pacific Ocean, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we had a couple workshops there. And, anytime I could, I get over there. It's breathtaking.
Yeah, it's
we all had our pictures there. Oh yeah. Yeah. If any student ever gets to have the chance to even visit the campus, it's worth it.
Yeah. Now, Jess, do you find yourself using things that you've already learned in your new job?
Yes. So when I started the program, I was working in supply chain operations, and got, it was towards the end, I got an offer to go to PennyMac managing contracts. And at the time, I was actually taking a legal course for conflict negotiation and contract management. And it was very relevant between, business law, negotiation, and a lot of we had an IT course that really provided structure for project management. Mm-hmm. I would say I use the skills on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's great. Now,
Yeah.
I wonder if were there a number of years when you were thinking about it but didn't pull the trigger on going for your MBA? Um, and maybe now you wish,
Yeah.
oh, I should have done this earlier.
You know, honestly, I think I had always had, that hidden goal that you don't want to say out loud, because then you would either have to do something about it or own the fact that you haven't done anything about it. But I think once I decided that I wanted to do it, I pulled the trigger before I got too scared. And the majority, I was one of the older candidates through the program, and which we kind of joked about. But I felt that, they had like the younger, classmates had the opportunity of, it just life was a little bit easier for them at that point. They weren't doubled down with kids and work, and they had a little bit more flexibility for setting. So they had the win on that one. But then I came to the program with, 11, 12 years worth of experience, that when I sat in quant and when I sat in finance, I could do memory recall, and that makes sense because A, B, and C. And I felt that really helped. It helped also, during the projects when, it took a little bit more experience to be able to pull all of the different roles together.
Yeah.
So I would have done it the same way. As much as it would have accelerated my career earlier on, I'm still playing catch up. That would have been a positive, but I'm happy to have had the experience going into the program.
Great. What advice would you have others out there who are, thinking about doing it, but maybe they're a little unsure? What would you say to them?
This is a little rough, but just rip the Band-Aid off. If you think you're going to do it before it gets too late. Do it, and yes, it will be painful, but it will also be wonderful. And to see how we all transformed through the program, it made it worth it. And my career has taken off. How I feel about myself is changed. How I can tell how others feel about me, and that credibility, right? It's not just that toolbox that you're learning. It's your presence, your executive presence, and your ability to deliver for whether it's you're an entrepreneur or you're working for someone else. Just stop whining about it and do it. That would be my advice.
All right, pull off the Band-Aid.
And then forgive people. Ask for forgiveness later. I think that my grad speech had something to do with I'm so sorry for being rude the last 2 years, because that will happen. But your good friends will love you anyways.
You had a lot on your plate for sure, and you still do. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Jess, thank you for sharing your insights with us. Really appreciate it. That's Jess Hord.
Hopefully it was helpful.
From Pepperdine, and you graduated in December of 2019. So you've been out for about 6 months now. Mm-hmm. Are there days when you wish you went back? No, been there, done that. You're good. You're good.
There are days when I wish that I was in that mindset still, that growth mindset. I have to remember to go back to that.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much. Stay safe.
Thank you, Jenna. Have a great day.
This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Thanks for watching.